Hi, folks. Sean Memolo here, Youngsville, North Carolina resident. Here today at my kitchen table with a county commissioner candidate for Franklin County District 1 County Commissioner Ryan Williams. So, Ryan, thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks, Tom.
To answer some questions about how and what you would do as county commissioner. I have to say, as a parent to two students in the Franklin County schools, it's been dismally disappointing to have to go. We've only been here the 2 years, but have to go in front of the county commissioners each year and beg for them to please fund the public schools. To me, it just seems like it's a lack of commitment and a lack of investment in the children and in the future of the county. And then there's also the issue that we've seen at the state level with the vouchers and funding schools that are not accountable in any way. Just wanted to give you some time to. It's very sad. It sends a poor message, and it just basically sends the message that we're disinvesting in our future in the state and in this county. So I did want to give you an opportunity to talk about your feelings about the public education politics in Franklin County.
Sure. Oh, I hate that the two have gotten intertwined, honestly, between politics, partisanship, and public schools. I mean, we're talking about education as a whole. You cannot have in my opinion, you cannot have a functional society without having an investment in the school system with the kids. And it's a partnership. And the partnership feels like there's been a shift in direction where the partisanship is more half-hearted with the lack of funding, the lack of investment. And we're talking about, when we talk about educating the kids and giving them the resources to go forward, you don't solve any problems by not addressing them. If you have an issue with the public schools, it's a public school. You can voice your opinion and work with the administrations and work with the teachers and be heard. And the public schools have people to answer to if they're not getting it done. But at the end of the day, we all want the kids to succeed.
Yes.
But they can't succeed. It is hard to succeed in rooms that don't have full air conditioning, or teachers that are worn thin because they have to work 2 or 3 extra jobs to get the same amount of income just to survive and advance. And what they're trying to do is advance education to these kids. And on a side note, when it comes to the material on which they're trying to educate, the books need to be there for these kids to learn. Whether it's science, history, math, English, they have to have the resources to obtain in order to learn and read. And I do know that with supply and demand, which is economics, which I learned in a public school myself, these are things that have to be in place in order for kids to succeed. The demand is there. Lord knows that we've got people coming into District 1 in Youngsville that need the time, they need the support, and they need the resources in order to move forward. And these resources, I admit, they are not cheap, but they have to be taken care of. And the only way they're taken care of is not out of my pocket directly, but in my pocket indirectly through the tax monies that go into Franklin County. And the last thing we need to do is divert and take away that money, that time, that support from that part to a private school or a charter school that is not benefiting everybody.
So
it's unfair.
So as a parent, I'm hearing from you as a county commissioner, you would be fully supporting the full funding of public schools.
Wholeheartedly. I believe that the public school system will give the effort to assess what they need from the county commissioners And as my role as a county commissioner is just to approve the budget. My role as a county commissioner is not to take away the books on the shelf. My job is not to govern the attitudes, behaviors of the students, and that is not my role as county commissioner. It is to approve budgets, make sure taxing and zoning processes are in order, and to manage the tax monies that are best available for the public within Franklin County for everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I mean everybody from the folks that live on past Winston Ridge, all the way to the folks over at Cedar Creek, my district. And the last thing we need to do is take 60% of the monies right now that are going in the North Carolina education lottery. 6% of those are going towards now charter and private schools, which is so unfair when they tell you the amount of monies that are coming in to the lottery system. And Lord knows I play Powerball every now and then like everybody else. But it's unfair, and we need to stop the unfairness, which is the thing that kind of eats at the core of all this. There's an unfairness. There's an underhandedness to it. And when we're dealing with a partnership between the school system and the commissioners and the county government, the last thing we need is unfairness. It eats at the problem that we have. One of the problems that I'm seeing in my last 10 plus months of going back and forth between not only just District 1, but going into the heart of Lewisburg and Bunn, up almost towards Vance County, throughout the area as a whole. We've got to get past and work on communication and addressing the commonalities that we need between not just Democrats and Republicans, but between the folks in the town of Youngsville and the town of Wake Forest, which is right next door, and Franklin County, and the state government, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Education. There's too many cliques or little groups of folks that have had their say one way or the other on how things are being done. We have to have partnerships, and we have to work on getting the alignment together. And from my experience as a project manager, you have to have alignment in order for projects to succeed. You have to work on group talk, group effort, and the assuredness that we're in this together. We shake hands and we move forward. So, and another problem, and I can only speak to you to this side of the argument. From what we see on the other side has ordained or allowed lack of character, lack of clarity, lack of civility to be part of the process. They're in the mode of deal with it. Dude, we can't deal with it if you won't come to the table fairly. I say this to anybody, and I'll say it in front of an audience of folks of Democrats. I'll say it to an audience of Republicans. I'll say it to an audience of Black, white, Latino. We can't be partners if we can't shake hands and look me dead in the eye and just be good with it, one way or the other.
I want to jump